My name is Siri. My artistic craft is artivism, poetry, music. And my neighborhood is the neighborhood I was born and raised in, Madisonville. Madville forever. I identify myself as a Black woman, as an activist, as a mother, as a tribe chief, gangster, CEO, undercover crier, a little bit of everything. Best part about Blackness is the secret sauce. Let nobody tell you different. It's something that you're just born with. It's a way of talking, it's a way of speaking, it's a way of moving, walking. It's something that's just in all of us, and the influence is so real that you see it everywhere. You know what I mean? Not just in inventions. You see it in mannerisms. You see it in marketing, all over media. Like, there is something about who we are that is contagious and original, and I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. The social spaces that I find my identity most nurtured in are spaces where people look like me, people that share my experience, people who just overall know what I'm talking about in a way, things where you don't really have to explain. You know, I think that's where I feel like I have the most space to be 100% me. I don't avoid spaces mostly because it is a challenge to me to change people's minds. I like walking in spaces where people might not have seen someone like me or might not want to see someone like me, and just figuring out the ways that we can connect and kind of find like a common ground. You end up walking out feeling like family. I think that shift is one of my favorite things. And then I'm just also really confident in myself, and I'm happy with myself. So I don't think any space could really intimidate me off of that alone. I use my craft to connect to my identities in multiple ways. Definitely the poetry, because I've always identified as a poet. And just poetry, the culture of poetry is something that I really connect with growing up in that culture. So poetry is something I've always put in the forefront, just carrying the energy that I've seen and grew up around. My mom is my #1 role model, and her friends, honestly. I grew up around a lot of local legends in Cincinnati, specifically the poets, and then also hip hop artists. I think the first artist that I really clung to with my mom's friends was the Watusi tribe, if that says anything. So I was always searching for just through all these positive influences, and I was finding the things that I thought were the best traits of each artist, and I'm like, okay, I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that. And as I got older, I started to take on that influence and also add it to my own, just personality and talents. And it was something that I think their influence kind of gave me the cocktail for whatever I'm tapping into currently. So that was definitely something I was blessed to have. Just local legends being my biggest influence helped me understand the value of our locals early. And then curating too, that's something that's huge for me, and that's a direct way for me to pass the culture that I was blessed to witness on down to a lot of people who really didn't get that, especially the local history of poetry and hip hop. That's something I was really influenced by, and not a lot of my peers got to be directly at the front row seeing that. So I like that my open mics feel how my mom's open mics used to feel. It's giving it something that I can say this is a part of me, and showing it with people, and people love it. So I definitely express myself through my wardrobe. I like to look how I feel. So everything that you see on the outside is pretty much how I be feeling on the inside. And it changes a lot. You'll see me dressing in all black, and you'll see me in multicolored everything. It just kind of depends on what I feel in that moment, and I like to make sure it's expressed outwardly as well. I find myself in spaces that disapprove of my identity all the time. I think naturally you will in this world. I handle it with grace. I definitely handle it with grace. I'm not too confrontational unless it kind of calls for that. I can be, for sure. But, I handle it with grace. And again, I like to always find a point where we connect. From what I found, most people won't continue to carry their same ideas once they have a new experience themselves that contradicts it. So if I give you an experience that you haven't had that contradicts the association that you might have of someone who looks, talks, thinks like me, then, I think some progress always follows afterwards, kind of softens people, opens their minds. I get a lot of misconceptions about my identities. I have so many that I think whichever one people resonate with or see the most is kind of the one they hold me to. But that's, I'm a very dual person. So you'll find me acting like a lot of different things because I have been a lot of different things and I am a lot of different things. But I think one of the biggest misconceptions, which is actually funny, is because I am an activist and I'm a very neo-soul kind of artist, that kind of conscious woke idea that you can't really say certain stuff around me, or people kind of feel nervous to talk about their own realities, which is realities that I grew up in, succumbed to at times in my life, have seen others do the same. But a lot of times I see people straighten up a little bit and start acting a certain way around me, which, I guess if it's progressive, I don't mind, but I appreciate people who just are them, for sure. I always get laughed because I see my little self when I say that. I would create for young me for a time when I really did not feel like I had a voice or was confident enough to use it. I didn't think if I did use it, anybody would want to hear it. And I was just in a lot of pain because I paid attention and I was really empathetic early, but could not desensitize myself to anything. So I would just be crying over stuff that I couldn't do all the way across the world, you know what I'm saying? And I think it wasn't until I got older that I started realizing, bit by bit and piece by piece, I could do something. And especially as the influence started to grow and the connection started to grow, I got to a place where I am now and will continue to get where I'm excited because people are caring and people are willing to back you on something that is just right. And it makes little me happy because I didn't think I was gonna be able to do anything. So I do and create for when I felt like I couldn't or would never be able to. I think the best part about being a woman is the power that we have, but it's a very selfless power. Our power is so powerful for other people. We're nurturers, we're caregivers, we're creators, and everything that we create, nurture, and work for is usually beneficial to somebody else first. I think that's beautiful. I like that it's naturally embedded in me to want to care for people or mother people or create things and then make sure that they're okay. That's something that I don't have to stretch to do because that's just what it is to be a woman, honestly. Best part about being an activist is seeing the change and shift over time outside of being in the midst of everything and fighting and all of that. You do get to have these really good times where you see progress, when you see direct correlations to the work that you're doing. You see people start to connect that would have never connected. You see people starting to regain hope in communities that they were shunned away from or felt didn't have any space for them. You start to see what the world can be, even if it's very small. You start to see that it's possible, and then you meet other people who also believe and are willing to do the work with you, and it creates a deeper connection than I think you just get from living on the surface kind of complacent. So I'm glad that I've been able to tap into a deeper level of care, love, and empathy with the people that I've met. I definitely want my kids, if anything they learn from me, I want them to be unapologetic. I want them to be them. I want them to take the time to figure out whatever that is because it took me time. But then once they do, I want them to be what we all were meant to be, which I think is just inspirations to others that leads to progression and who we all are. And I want them to defend that fiercely for other people and just shine. I think I was blessed with a big personality and power to wield that with other people as well. So I know my kids are gonna have that. They already do. So I want them to really tap into that and make me proud, be me times two, like I am with my mom, and let it keep going and going, because we got a deep calling. Best part about being me, I think the best part of being me is the journey. Watching my personal journey, having a front row seat to it, has been wild. It's like a movie. I feel like we all probably feel that way, just being in your body and going through this journey from the moment you start to where you are now. I think that's been inspiring. I feel I'm very inspired by how far I've come, and I'm inspired by how far the world has come around me too, to see myself grow and see the world simultaneously grow, and then us figuring out how to grow together slowly but surely. I think that's the best part about being me right now. I feel good. I think I feel better than I've ever felt in my life, which is saying a lot. So that's probably the best part about being me, is being happy and seeing things from a bird's eye view. Yeah. I'm from that Disney generation. The Saturday mornings watching That's So Raven, even Steven on Tuesday evenings, I even listen to Disney XM. See, I was looking at Nick Jonas like, I love him. In the Disney Olympics, I wanted his team to win. I'm from the 2-hour arguments about who wants to be with Cheetah Girl. Because I'm bougie, I was always Galleria, but we ain't got to talk about that. Until Hannah Montana showed me I can have the best of both worlds. And when I got lonely, I had Troy Bolton to hold me when I'm happy. I'm living a sweet life like Zach and Cody, who won't want to know me. See, I'm from the Nickelodeon age. Yeah, we were all on the same page. Rocket Power made me wavy, but Jimmy Neutron saved my brain. I'm from the sound of all that being blasted throughout the hood. Back when Timmy Turner didn't want a bird, but just to be understood, and Cosmo and Wanda did the best that they could. I'm from the days of Cartoon Network. I was glued to the TV till my neck hurt. I always had a story from Dexter's Laboratory, even memorized the Ed, Edd n Eddy theme song. See, I learned courage from the Cowardly Dog, watched Powerpuff Girls with my Afro Puff curls and knew every single word because I'm just one of those girls. And again, I'm from that Disney generation. That sister-sister connection, Lizzie McGuire animations, the 2-hour naps my mom finally got when Lion King was playing. I'm from the days of screaming, be a man, because Mulan did it. And the nights I spent swinging from my curtains like Tarzan, and then my mom hit it. See, I painted with the wind. I lost the meaning of Ohana just to learn it all again, and sometimes I feel like an alien is my only friend. So what I'm saying is, a lot like Boo. When monsters came in my room, I had to make friends with them too, like Jack Jack. I'm the baby in a family full of superheroes and no one ever knew, like the kid that in Incredibles. I just be waiting for something amazing too. Now I'm from the days of Nickelodeon. Back when I was just a rugrat walking around with my Hey Arnold's backpack singing all that, the TLC version of with my pants low and my hat to the back, because where my real 90s babies at? Tell them we from that Danny Phantom astral projection era. That SpongeBob fun song, soul lifting. The kids nowadays, they think we were Millie rocking, but we were airbending. I'm from the days of Cartoon Network. Chemical X is in me too. A little bit of Dexter's Laboratory, some Johnny Bravo, Buttercup mentality on the inside. I'm Blossom, and Scooby-Doo taught us we all human on the inside, even when we appear to be monsters. And again, this is the best time of my life. Everything felt right, and even if it wasn't, my show come on tonight, so bring on the fun. Grow up for absolutely no one, and never forget, to survive adulthood, you're going to have to remember where you come from. You're going to have to remember where you come from.